The next fragrance review is Lalique's Encre Noire. It was released in 2006, so it's celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. The nose behind it is Natalie Lorson, and it's categorized as a woody aromatic. Whenever people are looking for vetiver fragrance and are asking for recommendations, this is usually one of the most frequently referenced. When I first spray this fragrance on, I get a murky, damp greenness. And that greenness comes from cypress. If you've taken cypress leaves and you've rubbed them between your hands, there's a leafy, organic greenness to it, and that's exactly what I get. Unfortunately, that greenness fades off and it begins to open up with a damp, earthy, musky vetiver. This representation of vetiver is bourbon vetiver. Vetiver can take on many different forms, very similar to patchouli. With patchouli, you can get a potting soil patchouli where it smells like damp earth. You can get a sweet, smooth, chocolatey patchouli, very similar to cocoa powder. And you can also get a dry, leafy, aromatic patchouli. So it's significantly different between all of its forms. With vetiver, it's pretty much going to come down to three commonly used vetiver variants. There's some minor ones, but the three major ones are bourbon vetiver, which is featured mostly in Encre Noire; Haitian vetiver, which is in the very base of this fragrance. That is more lighter, a little more woody, but it has a salty consistency to it. And then there's Java vetiver, which is a arid, dry, crunchy, smoky vetiver, which is not in this fragrance. So they use the bourbon vetiver in the mid, and it's propped up with some cheap aroma chemicals in ISOE Super, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's a arid, splintered, woody texture. It doesn't really smell like wood, but it has a very rough texture to it, and a clean synthetic musk. So they're using these cheap aroma chemicals to keep this vetiver propped up for more than only a couple of hours, and any experienced nose is really going to see through that. At the very, very end, once all the aroma chemicals have burned off, all the cheapness is gone with the musk and the ISOE Super and the cashmere, you get a fairly halfway decent Haitian vetiver. But you're going to have to wait for about 6 hours to get even a significant amount of that. So this is a fragrance that's actually less than the sum of its parts. I think that they used cheap aroma chemicals by necessity due to the budget that they were looking to aim for. This went to discounters very fast, and you can get this thing for under $30. And honestly, I don't even think it's worth the $30 I'd pay for it. I think there's other great alternatives out there that'll cost you a little bit more, but for the quality, you would probably end up much better off with some of the other vetivers that I would recommend. I would recommend on the cheaper spectrum, Carvin's Le Vetiver EDP, that features Haitian vetiver and Java vetiver. I would also look at Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver Eau de Parfum. And on the high end, if you want a very well done vetiver with equally well done complementary parts, take a look at Javoy's private label. That has a Java vetiver, a very high quality sandalwood, a little bit of incense, and a little bit of leather, and also that really awesome aromatic, dry, leafy patchouli in there. For performance on Encre Noire, I think it's very average. It's about 6 hours. It's really not a stunning longevity fragrance, and it really doesn't reach real far, which for this type of fragrance that to me smells cheap, and it's not really a pleasing fragrance for the commoner and the average person's nose. You're probably not going to want this to be a big fragrance anyway. Unfortunately, I cannot recommend this fragrance even at the price. I think that if you can get yourself a sample, go for the sample, but it's a very cheap smelling fragrance in my opinion. Thank you for watching.